What's going on, y'all? Dana Polk Jr., Master Executive 8. And as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about why you should not compare yourself to others, right? So, this is kind of part two to this video because this is kind of the same conversation, but it's continued. But this went more into where my mind started to go into that comparison mode, right? So a lot of times, when we talk about like competition and comparing yourself, it's not about the other person. You know what I mean? It's about you. This is where the mental alchemy comes in. It's about you controlling the swing of that pendulum, right? You know what I mean, controlling the where you're moving on the scale of polarity, when it comes to that principle of polarity, right? So what happens during certain conversations is um, we'll start to compare ourselves to someone else's situation, right? And we may feel that, we may not be, excuse me, farther along than someone else, you know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? Now, this may be true, it may not be true, but it's only true if you make it true. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead. You good. So, um, no two paths are the same. Nobody's journey is the same. Nobody's priorities are the same. The things that you're doing, the mindsets are not the same. So when you find yourself trying to explain where you're coming from in your journey, like you're trying to explain yourself. Yeah, I mean, like overly. Like it's really uncalled for. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to convince this person that where you are compared to theirs is different for whatever reasons. There's no need to do that. That's coming from some place of insecurity. I mean, because you feel like you should be farther along in your journey, right? Compared to somebody else. And this is why you shouldn't compare yourself to somebody else. Because your journey is not their journey. They are where they are in your journey, in their journey. And you are where you are in yours. You know what I mean? Now, this often happens because the conversation is presented that way. It's presented in a comparison way. You know what I mean? It's presented in a form of competition. You know what I mean? Of kind of like look what I got. This is what I'm doing. This is well, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had to do this too, and look where I'm at. And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like don't get sucked into that. You know what I mean? Don't let your mind start to compare yourself to somebody else and where they are in your journey. Your priorities are not the same. The things that y'all doing are not the same. The ways that y'all think are not the same. So don't compare yourself to somebody else. Their journey is not yours. And you're doing yourself a disservice when you do that. You know where you are in your journey. You know what you got going on and you know where you're going. So as long as you do that, there's no need to try to explain to somebody else where you're coming from. And this is one very good way to transmute that energy. Once you because this is what I did once I seen that my mind started to go into this comparison mode. Yeah, I mean, is I transmuted the energy to just to empathy, to see where this person was coming from, why they were doing the things they were doing, how they were doing the things they were doing. I started asking questions. You know what I'm saying? I started asking questions just to transmute that energy from comparison to, why does this person tick the way they tick? You know what I'm saying? Because who cares if it's not necessarily the way that you may tick totally different. You know what I'm saying? But who cares? Transmute that to, let's just get to understand this person and where they're coming from. And just get out of that whole competition comparison energy. You know what I mean? And this is for you. You know what I mean? People gonna do what they want to do. This is for you to keep your energy intact. You know what I mean? To keep your mind focused. You know what I'm saying? Don't compare and don't compete. You're not in competition with anybody. You're not to be compared to anybody else because you're an individual with your own characteristics, flaws, whatever, um, strengths, weaknesses, all of that. You're you. They're them. Let them be them, and you allow yourself to be you, and leave it there. No need to explain why you are where you are, why you're doing what you're doing to try to say, oh, well, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm, this is, don't do that. There's no need to do that. Yeah, I mean, that type of conversation is unfruitful for you. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really get you anywhere. I mean, in fact, it just has you explaining stuff to somebody that they don't even really need to know like that. Yeah, I mean, it's really none of their business why you make the moves that you do, why you do the things that you do. The way they spend their spare time and the way you spend your spare time are different, and you shouldn't judge them for the way that they spend their time. You know what I mean? And you should just worry about what you do with your time. And all that to say is, this isn't about other people. This is about self mastery. Mental alchemy is about transmuting undesirable circumstances to desirable circumstances. And you can't do that if you're worried about, if you're comparing your desires. I'm so uh um I'm sorry. It's transmuting undesirable mental states to desirable mental states. And you can't do that if you're worried about somebody else's mental state and where they are in their journey. Then you've taken your focus away from your mental states. You know what I mean? So don't let that pendulum swing all the way over there. You know what I mean? Let your pendulum stay in a nice, I mean, even balance right within your poles of existence. Don't go in somebody else's poles and be trying to swing in their energy. You know what I mean? You maintain your energy. All right. So that's it, man. When I do these messages, I try not to go on too long. Just wanted to give you all that information. Don't compare, in conclusion, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Your journey is yours, theirs is theirs. You're doing yourself a disservice when you do that. And it's coming from a place of insecurity because you don't, for whatever reason, you don't feel secure in where you're going. So be honest with yourself, and also, um, don't get sucked into that. You know what I mean? Because people will present it in that type. The situations will be presented in that type of way. And then you get sucked right into it. You know what I mean? Don't get sucked into that. You know what I mean? Don't do it. And if you find yourself already there, just transmute that energy. You know what I'm saying? Transmute it, but don't stay there. All right. Talk to y'all later.